fantastic on the field here tonight. 4 rounds in. We're a long way from seeing the big picture just yet, but another fascinating part of the jigsaw will be put in the frame tonight. Leeds, who have this early possession, a chance to build on what has been an encouraging start to their season, and Leigh, of course, looking for a first win in 2024. Kyle Amor, what are we looking forward to tonight?
Well, first of all, Dave, good evening to you and everyone at home. Here we've got two sides here in contrasting starts to season 2024. The Leigh Leopards, of course, searching for that first win, and the Rhinos, well, haven't they started the season well as this man Ackers takes off. Cameron Smith, what a sensational game he had last week. That wonderful pass over the top for Ash Hanley. Keep your eye on the number 13 for the Rhinos. He'll certainly have a big game here this evening.
Mikael Ledeski back from his shoulder injury. He's the one man in place of James Bentley, of course, who's suspended, as Brian was telling us earlier. And a couple of changes for Leigh, which we'll get onto in just a second. But here comes Rhys Martin looking to probe on that far side. Another set of 6 to work with as well here have Leeds. So this is an encouraging start for them. And they're keeping that ball alive. They have been laying claim to being the entertainers so far this year. And they're progressing well here.
Yeah, just another short side play. We saw that a number of times last week, particularly on the left edge. They just had their eyes up, and a lovely short ball there for Mikael Ledeski.
Ackers waits and moves it right, and Croft with a crafty little show of the ball and a search back down the middle again, and looking to create some numbers here with a pass out wide. Momirovski with a flick behind. It's all class and eye-catching stuff at the moment. And talking about that, Ash Handley, the man of the moment in terms of try-scoring, but can't find a way through this early enthusiastic Leigh defence. Frawley back to Croft. Croft with a kick. The chase is on, and it is gathered in the end by O'Brien. And Leigh do have it back, but what a start from Leeds. They've travelled the distance almost.
Yeah, certainly brilliant start from Rowan Smith's men, just moving the ball, keeping it alive at will. Brodie Croft there flashing across, as was Ash Hanley. And Leigh Leopards now, they've got the task of rolling up the other end of the field. Robbie Mulhern, here, what a game from him last week. Tom Amor now to penalty given away, Dave.
Well, the charge was from one of those who's back, Tom Amon, who's back in that Leigh side tonight. John Asiata missing, of course. We've already seen Brad Dwyer in action. He's making his home debut tonight, Brad Dwyer. He's the emergency signing with Edwin Ipapi away injured, and Umaila Hanley on the wing as well. Only his 3rd Leigh appearance and his first here at the Leeds Sports Village. So 1 or 2 new faces in the rather fetching red leopard skin that Leigh are wearing, as Lutelli brings it inside the Leeds half for the first time tonight.
Yeah, wonderful footwork there from Ricky Lutelli. 6 tackle breaks, 162 metres out of backfield. He certainly didn't die wondering over at that difficult game for them at St Helens last week.
Dwyer standing and waiting. It's not often we've seen him doing a full 80 minutes down the years, is it? He has tended to be an impact player.
Well, of course, he spent 5 seasons with the Rhinos, a lot of that coming off the bench as well. And he's here tonight, he's scampering out.
He's always capable of producing something magic. He does have a mistake in him from time to time, but here's Lamb looking left, the no-look pass, and O'Donnell tries to burst his way through. So 1 play to go in this set. Lamb with a little kick and couldn't quite gather it in. I think it's Smith who's fallen on it. The referee's seen a knock on here.
Lachlan Lamb was trying to thread the needle through the first line of defence. It comes off the back leg of Mikael Ledeski. We've just seen how this ball is regathered. Yeah, it's a knock-on from Lamb.
Early blow here from Leeds because Mikael Gudemond has gone off for a HIA, and Justin Sangare, who started the night on the bench, is now on the field, as you can see. So that'll be an early concern for the Rhinos. So when we get any news, we'll let you know.
Sangare, 17 appearances for Leigh in the Championship in 2022, so he'll be familiar with this ground for sure, Dave.
Ackers out of dummy half, and Leeds beginning to move left again with Smith, who's carrying heavy. Ackers quickly into position. Ledeski trying to get the arms free, but he's overwhelmed by defenders, so He'll have to get up and go again, and he gets another penalty here. So both sides have been guilty of giving away penalties in parts of the field where it'll be at the most frustrating point.
Yeah, it's disappointing for a coach when you just let the side off and, you know, without exerting too much energy. Ledsky there just wanting a quick play of the ball, and the penalty's being given away. And the Rhinos, through Reece Martin, will just cross and head 30-45 metres away from the Leopards line.
Good response. Interesting reading from Adrian Lamb in the programme today, acknowledging that his side have not had the best of starts. 2 defeats from their opening 2 games as Sangare is welcomed to the fore. But has reminded Leigh fans that, of course, that was their situation last year. 2 games gone in Super League, 2 defeats, and look how 2023 transpired. This is Miller. Still finding a bit of a skip. Leigh defenders eventually grasping and managing to get a hold. Ackers, 4 to his left, the rest to his right. That's the way he comes with the skipper Smith, who will take it ever closer. So Leeds are set fair here. They've still got 4 tackles left to have a go, as well as Miller goes towards Martin. The cries from the north stand is forward, but the referee doesn't see it that way. So Leeds continue again. Frawley now. Here's Ledsky with a step off that left foot, and this is terrific from the England international. He's just dragged down, but look how close. Spun back by Ackers, a reach by Smith. Now it's with Croft. Inside it comes for Newman. Newman's got footwork and menace, but Leeds' defence is up to the task. 1 play to go. Ackers again. Back to Smith. Here comes Croft. Croft with a chip. The chase is on. There's numbers there. They're all letting it bounce. Nobody wants it. In the end, I think it was McDonald who got there, but it's out of play. Well, there was a danger moment for Leigh in letting that ball bounce.
Yeah, Brodie Croft just sticks the ball high in the air. Miscommunication between Latelli and Charnley. Ends up in the hands of the Rhinos, and it just goes squandering over the sideline. Well, you're right, Dave. Even a couple of plays before, just how Ledsky just seemed to run through the defence of the Leigh Leopards is concerning.
Here comes a mo. He's tackled. We'll talk about stats. Leeds last week, fewer metres, less possession, worse completion rates than Catalan. Full-time score, Leeds 18, Catalan 10. So that just shows you about the mentality of that Leeds side in terms of being able to defend. Looking to attack from deep here with Lockie Miller. And the footwork is good. Looking forward to watching him as the pitches begin to dry out, because he has got that stardust appeal, hasn't he, potential? Yeah,
so light on his feet. The Rhinos have shown already in 2024 that they're not afraid to move the ball from these parts of the field. Scoring a number of tries and creating breaks from deep inside their own half. Roberts.
He's one of their own, the Leigh fans, Lewis Roberts. Ex-Leigh player, Leigh fan as well. He's got 3 generations of family here tonight cheering him on, albeit they are Leigh fans and Leigh season ticket holders, so there'll be split loyalties, I'm sure. Ackers out of dummy half. Back it comes to Smith. Quickly along the line. This is terrific stuff, and suddenly Roberts has got room in which to run here with a step back on the inside. There's plenty there in support. If he can get it away, he does, and Leeds untidily keep it going. It's waved as a play on with a glance from the referee to the touch judge, so Cameron Smith is able to just straighten things up and tidy things up, and Leeds do have another chance for one last time in this set. Ackers. Here's Frawley with the advance, the left foot. Momorowski's off in hot pursuit and tries to reach. The ball comes down, but the referee will immediately call it as an offside against Momorowski, and a penalty for Leigh.
Just the amount of times that the Leeds Rhinos players are able to beat their opposite numbers in front of them just with footwork and skimming back through, keeping the ball alive. It's creating havoc for the Leopards' defence. They've answered everything so far, creating themselves a couple of half chances of the Rhinos. And as this game goes on, when the energy starts draining away, I'm sure some of those half breaks will end up becoming serious ones.
Well, they had terrific success, Leigh, against Leeds last year. Winners here against the Rhinos by 20 points to 6. And then 13-6 at Headingley. They're both historical wins, 30-odd years between drinks and Leigh victories against this opposition, so there will be no imposter syndrome for them here tonight. Dwyer, up and out. Dwyer again, standing and waiting, marching up there against some former foes and former friends. Amon, another carry. The cry is for penalty for Leigh, but the game goes on. Picked up by Dwyer, out to Moylan. Back on the inside, Leeds defence having to work hard here, being tested. Last play, Dwyer. Here's Moylan, the off-season signing, the Australian, looking left to Lamb. It's a persistent form of attack here for Leigh, this left-hand side, but it's nicely mopped up on this occasion by Roberts, and Leeds back in possession.
Yeah, Louis Roberts there just diffusing the kick. And it's not a bad place for the Leopards to turn the ball over, and it's their time and chance now to go hunting through the defence.
Well, they've got a lot of work to do here, haven't they, as they try to clear their own line. Their own 10-metre line is the initial ambition in terms of clearance, because Leigh are keeping them pegged at the moment, and Hanley just puts his nose through the gap, but not much more than that.
Well, that's play for Sangare now, his responsibility to try and get a quick play of the ball, and they're going to have to kick, and look where they're kicking from. Short side elected.
Well, they're going for the run here, going through hands of Momirovski, and he's not going to travel too far. Leeds might want that back again and kick if they could, but it will be Leigh who get possession in an advantageous position here.
Yeah, and it all comes off the back of a beautiful short kick that just traps the Rhinos in the corner, and then defensively aimed up with good line speed, good contact as well. I said earlier, the first sort of 9 minutes, the contact hasn't quite been there.
Here's Amon, one of those who had stellar seasons for Leigh last year, and one of those who kept his fitness throughout the year as well, which was typical of most of Leigh's star players last year. And already this year they're beginning to feel that injury pressure with Apapi and Asiata and Briscoe missing amongst others. So keeping healthy could be key for Leigh, having repeat success, but not starting brilliantly in that department. Dwyer now. Here's Moylan with a reach and the catch. Looking for Hardacre coming in at speed. Leeds defence did a lot of this last week, having to do more here tonight. Dwyer out. Moylan thought about switching play. Wasn't sure what he was doing there, which gave the Leeds defence the chance to get up and get in his face and reduce Leeds' options to this very last play. Lamb again, puts it back, quick hands, oh, super stuff from Gareth O'Brien. Just a little dummy and slips his way through. His first try of this new season, and Leigh are up and running here tonight at the Leigh Sports Village. Yeah, and a fantastic try as well. It just seemed to open up far too easy for Gareth O'Brien, the 31-year-old, in his 7th Super League club. Well, just watch how the space just opens up. Brodie Croft just gets too interested, and Harry Newman's caught in no man's land. Brodie Croft there, just taking the line of Kyle Donnell, and it leaves Harry Newman in two minds, and he can't commit to anything with Latelli on his outside shoulder. And in the end, it just waves an arm, and Gareth O'Brien just slices straight through. Well, Leigh have had problems in the kicking department so far this year. Zach Hardacre 0 from 3. They haven't kicked a goal in their opening 2 matches, and Matt Moylan has been given the duty here. Oh, we've seen it right across Super League, Dave, haven't we? Goal kicking seems to have been an issue for most of the team so far. Moylan with a kick that's 22 metres out and about 5 in from the sideline. A difficult one to start him off. I should imagine one of those that just gives him a bit of an excuse here, because it is close to the touchline. If he does miss it, well, it was a tough one. If he lands it, we'll all say how brilliant it is. Let's have a look. Half smile on his face. Will it be a full smile in just a moment or so? Picture of concentration. Focus is on. Is this Leigh's first goal of the season? No, it's 0 from 4 now collectively. But they do lead by 4 points to 0 in these early stages, and I'm sure Adrian Lamb, the coach, will be reasonably satisfied with life so far. I think he'll be delighted. With just one guy who won't be is Harry Newman.
and Rowan Smith. You can see the disappointment on Newman's face behind in those pictures there. And a shrug from Smith as well.
Well, there's always a terrific noise here, isn't there? Since their reintroduction to Super League, their rebranding as the Leopards. And this place, as I think Brian was saying earlier, this is party central on Super League night. And it feels like a good atmosphere again on a crisp March evening. It ain't warming up just at the moment, is it? But the Rugby League is keeping us toasty at the moment.
Yeah, credit to Derek Beaumont and all of his staff here. They do know how to make the game feel like a big game. And at the moment, that's another good carry from Tom Amon. Oh, and offload as well. Hardacre wasn't expecting it. Perhaps just come out too quick for him.
Clutch of knock-ons.
Yeah, it's not what you wanted after the points. You just want to get through to the end of your set. The arm's almost there, it's free, but it just bullets into Hardacre's face. A bit of a wild one.
He was just pointing to his face to Tom Amon. I thought he was apologising and saying I should keep my eye on things, but I think he was saying it hit me in the face, fella. You can't catch those.
23 errors the Leopards have made so far this season, and Adrian Lamb alluded to it. It's far too many for him. He wants to try and get that down. Well, we're 15 minutes in. They've made the first one of the evening.
And it has given Leeds a foothold in the Leopards' half here. What can they make of this in this next 6 plays? Newman, little push from him and a swirl and a push back, and he's very nearly where he started with the effort of that Leopards defence. Akers, and now Sangare, who straightens things up with purpose. Akers waits again. Smith to his left. Here is the skipper, back to Frawley, along the line. Rhys Martin chiming in. And nibbling away at the meters. Akers. Central once more. Aleczki, the Polish-English international, who's taken his team to within sight of where they want to be. Back to Frawley again. Now Smith. They're working hard down this middle. Smith gets the offload. Akers away to Aleczki. Quickly in there is Miller. Miller steps away from one tackle. Momirovski on that left-hand side, trying to hand off Hardacre, trying to offload it, and doing neither in the end, and giving Leigh easy possession back again.
Yeah, well, the high-risk, high-reward play there. We saw the right part of it from Cameron Smith. And Paul Momirovski just trying to do too much in an impossible situation, and then now they give a penalty away. And look what it means to the Leopards. They're all in. High fives. We saw last time when they give a penalty away. A couple of sets later, it led to a try for the Leigh Leopards, and Mikhail Aleczki, guilty party on that one.
Well, they've still got a long way to travel here, Leigh. They will start from 10 metres inside their own half. And there's good news from Leeds' point of view. Goodemond, who was off for the head injury assessment earlier, looks as though he's ready to return, having passed that. So it will give the Rhinos a bit of a lift. Meantime, Leigh are claiming territory closer to their opponent's line. Oh, and Dwyer had it ripped out. It was good work from Smith. He got hold of Dwyer's arms and held that ball free. And it's given Leeds a chance to provide a counter here. Handley stopped in his tracks.
Zero called as well. You just see there, Cam Smith just dislodges that ball, and it means the Rhinos go from defence into attack, and they pinch 25 metres further up the field, Dave.
Frawley along to Smith. Oh, Lachlan Lamb coming a long way out of his line there just to cut down Smith's options. Can be a dangerous defensive read sometimes, can't it, if your teammates haven't gone with you, but it worked as intended on that occasion. Here's McDonnell, and now Akers, and Croft waits centrally. Leeds looking to pick a path again. This is Akers. Frawley again, the general in the centre of it all. Up to the line and gets the pass away. Lockie Miller was very close to breaking the line, but the tackle from Moylan was good. Picked up by Akers again, and Croft goes left. It's untidy, but collected by Handley, and Handley back inside, and Leeds still going in the right direction with ball in hand. As Aleczki's pulled down with one play to go. Akers swept to Frawley. Frawley's chip. Momorowski's after it, but lots of Leigh hands up there, including Hardacre. And the referee's going to give the tap back on the 20 here, and a 7-tackle count now for Leigh as well, to try and look, and they're going right from the start. Brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff.
Super play.
Myler Hanley.
Backfield from Zach Hardacre, who just loves a lovely soft ball to a Myler Hanley.
Well, it is end-to-end at the moment. Hanley on his home debut. And they still have plenty of time to plot a way through. Leigh fans finding their voice. Dwyer to Moylan. Moylan puts it back. Lamb and Spear. Step back on the inside. How many times did we see that last year? Kai O'Donnell on the end of a Lachlan Lamb pass. And a try is scored. And Leigh have their second. And you have to say, it was lovely stuff.
Well, the big hitters all come alive in that set. Zach Hardacre, who gets the ball rolling deep from inside his own goal line. Quick tap, a Myler Hanley away, and then off the back of that, it's the 6 and 7 that do the rest in Matt Moylan and Adrian Lamb, in a beautiful line. Moylan off to Lamb, and just watch the timing of the big bat rower, Kai O'Donnell and Lachlan Miller. Well, he can't do much with it, but just keep your eyes on the line there. Brodie Croft, this time he's backing off. The try before, where Gareth O'Brien went through, he overcommitted. And you just see there Brodie Croft just backing onto his heels. A terrible start for him defensively. And Kai O'Donnell, well, it's just simple from him, isn't it?
They have an understanding. It's a geometric understanding, isn't it? They know the angles, they know the lines. Lamb knows when to release, O'Donnell knows when to be there. And yet another try.
Well, it's just all detail, Dave. Moylan knows when to release that pass, and Lamb is just able to dig into the line, just pumping the ball. And Brodie Croft, he can't commit to anything, he backs off. And at that moment, it's Kai O'Donnell just slicing straight through, and Moylan with a simpler kick this time, Dave.
Is this going to be Leigh's first goal of 2024? Not that they're over-concerned at the moment, given that they've got a couple of tries on the board. A settle and a sweep of the right boot, and they do have a goal to their name in this new season. And Leigh now lead by 10 points to 0.
Yeah, I mean, you just see here the Sky replay pictures just show us, just keep your eye on Brodie Croft when Adrian Lamb has the ball in hand. He's just there, he just gets caught on his heels, doesn't commit to neither here or there. And Adrian Lamb is absolutely delighted. He knows a 10-0 scoreline is exactly what they would have wanted after 22 minutes.
So Leigh will get possession back again, and they have been very bright so far, haven't they? Any self-doubts that we thought they might have had with their opening 2 games, not apparent so far.
Yeah, and just the way the Rhinos started the game, Dave, you could be forgiven to think that it was going to be another difficult night for them. But this Leigh side, one thing that you can't deny is their ability to score tries, particularly down this left edge. They showed it all last year, and they've started again electric in this game.
They managed only 8 points in the opening game against Huddersfield, only 4 against St Helens, but now they've got 10 tonight already, and they're looking to be flowing with confidence. Leeds have got a job on here to stop this momentum in the first place. Back it comes to Moylan. Moylan's kick is deep, and too deep in the end, I think. Yes, it is. Bounces out of play. Tap back on the 20, 7-tackle count for Leeds.
Yeah, but again, Dave, after points, to turn the ball over 20 metres away, it's not the worst thing in the world. When you consider the set before, they give the ball back through that error from Hardacre after that wild offload from Amon. And it's the Rhinos' turn now to see what they've got, see if they can return anything with interest. The 40 metres over their own end.
Here's Lockie Miller. Well, there's dancing steps again.
Good shot.
You can't beat a shoulder to the ribs, though, can you? Be as fancy as you like, but Hardacre says you're stopping there. Another set of 6, extra effort from Hardacre in the tackle. So Leeds get the bonus.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dave. This is probably the firmest pitch that the Rhinos have yet to play on, and Lockie Miller, he's dancing.
Walewski's dancing. Carries with some purpose. Ackers. Here's Smith. Back to Frawley. Along the line to Croft. Croft into the line. Can't get the ball away.
You keep your eyes on Kai O'Donnell here, as Brodie Croft just gets on the outside. The acceleration from the back rower underneath the ball, bang there, and just dislodges the ball, denies the threat, and takes away any attacking advantage that the Rhinos thought that they could generate. Brilliant work there from Kai O'Donnell. 40 tackles last week from him to add to his 35 in round one. He puts himself about.
Well, we've made a lot of Leigh's form since that Challenge Cup, that dramatic Challenge Cup victory last year. Their record since has been pretty poor, only 2 wins in the 9 matches. But I'd say that Adrian Lamb is watching a side here tonight that is putting up its best performance since then.
I agree. So far, 25 minutes in, you'd have to agree with what you've just said there, Dave. And if you like your omens, well, it was round 3 last year when Josh Charnley's late try against Hull KR. They hadn't won a game up till then, and look what happened off the back of that.
I love my omens, Kyle. Can't beat an omen. And Leigh are entering into enemy territory again. And with opportunities still to spare. Amon, just direct and strong. Dwyer, out and right. Moves back towards the middle. Just tantalising, as well, he might get the pass away, but didn't. Dwyer, here's Moylan, and they're creating numbers again here. And it is a terrific try on that right-hand side from the man on his home debut. Amila Handley plunges in, but again, it was point perfect all across that line. Just giving themselves an extra man and scoring a 3rd try.
Well, the Rhinos, they just don't have an answer at the moment. It's just wave after a wave of attack from the Leopards. And we just see the ball shipped out to the right. It's Moylan to Gareth O'Brien. What a brilliant ball that is. And Amila Handley with a little bit of work to do with the juggle, but he regathers it and dots it down into that right-hand corner. And the Rhinos, well, they're stunned.
Handley, the Leopard. His first Leigh try. Hasn't played a game since June last year. A couple of games for Leigh last year, having signed for them. But his first game since, and that's his first try on this, his first home appearance. And I suspect there's not a happier man in Leigh just at the moment. It's made it difficult for Moylan because the kick is tight right, but that's a very unhappy and perplexed Leeds bench at the moment. How do they go about trying to fix this up?
Well, there's an inquest going on in backfield, isn't there? But at the moment, look, the message is simple, and it is for most teams that play Leigh. It's just keep them away from your own goal line. You do that through defensive actions up the other end of the field. Because with players like Moylan and Lamb and Gareth O'Brien out the back of it, they've got 3 master keys to unlock any defence. And Moylan, well, he looks to add another conversion. He's kicked 33 goals in the NRL. And will he add another one here on English soil? 40%
success probability. Well, that's why that was a pessimistic prediction. That was the outcome, 14 points to 0. Leigh are leading, 2 goals missed, but 3 tries scored.
Well, it's just beautiful shape, isn't it? Gareth O'Brien creates the extra man, Mamarovsky and the winger Handley. Well, they come biting in because they have to. And the ball is brilliant to that man in picture. Amila Handley, he gets on the board.
One of many rugby league players with famous fathers, of course, Amila Handley. You might know his story.
Out on the full there as well. It's going from bad to worse for Rowan Smith and his men, Lockie Miller, who just puts too much weight behind that ball.
I'm not talking loads,
just hits the advertising board.
Well, Leeds are perplexed. The body language of frustration, and what do we do here? How do we get out of this hole? And Leigh just keep on digging them deeper.
They certainly look like two different sides. You know, when you watch the Rhinos with ball in hand, they look electric. They look like they wanted to come here and win the game, moving around at will. But defensively, they're just getting caught out. And there's another side, Frankie Holton off a tap, just 12 metres up the field. The Rhinos could be in trouble here, Dave, in this set. They really could.
I was going to say, this game could almost be slipping away from Leeds before they can dig themselves into it. 14-0 at the moment is worrying but not disastrous. But if Leeds strike again here, they're suddenly creating what could be a winning lead already.
It's a better tackle from Brodie Croft. Just under the ribs of Gareth O'Brien. Just look at how deep this right edge attack is now.
Into Dwyer, back on the inside to Amon. Amon straightens up and pushes. Little platform set right in the middle of the park. It's another effort. Hughes offloads. Dwyer comes back. Now it's just a big effort and a drive towards the line. Man put down. Dwyer on into a moment, almost out again. I think he got it back. No, he's not. He has knocked it on. So Leeds survive.
Yeah, Tom Amon, he just tries to crash over, tries to get on the outside of Jared O'Connor.
Yeah.
But doesn't he do well to deny Tom Amon there from a short ball?
Don't go early. Go on. Jack, you're not
so 30 minutes played. It's been a bit of a shock to the system for Leeds so far, trailing as they do by 14 points to 0. But as we always say in rugby league, things can switch so quickly, can't they? And Leeds aware that if they can get themselves over that goal line next, then suddenly self-belief can be theirs. Building at the moment, patiently from inside their own half.
Don't go early, Tom.
Ackers.
Well done. Great work, mate.
This is Martin with a skip to his step, the Papua New Guinean captain. Onto the halfway line, but no further. And this is the last, so it'll depend on a big boot here from Lockie Miller. Well, just playing with a touchline there, but O'Brien's done really well because it was a high steepling kick, and he would have been aware of how close he was to the whitewash, but he's called it safely. And Moylan can carry on. And immediately they're looking left. Here's Charnley.
Move, Harry!
So Ryan Hall, penalty here. Penalty here for Leigh. I was going to say, we saw Ryan Hall getting another try closer to that Danny Maguire Super League try-scoring record last night. Josh Charnley's not too far behind, is he?
Oh, he is hunting them both down. He has a couple of years on his side. There's Josh Charnley, but Harry Newman with hands in at the play of the ball. And that's 3 yardage errors. Sorry, 3 yardage penalties, rather, that the Rhinos have given away. And I mentioned, said it before, if you're going to invite this Leigh Leopards outfit near your line, then you will pay the price at some point, because their attacking prowess is quality.
Big minutes from Amon so far, 31 and still driving. See other games tonight. That looks a tight one as well. St Helens 8, Salford 6. A later score, penalty here for Leigh.
And back-to-back penalties, Dave. Jared O'Connor this time.
Huddersfield winning at Cass as well.
Just a high shot there from Robbie Mulhern.
Yeah, video referee's getting involved. You can't hear that, but video referee just suggesting it's penalty.
It's an upright play. We need to be very, very careful.
And Chris Kendall there just telling Jared O'Connor it is a high tackle and to be very, very careful.
Came off the shoulder. That was the mitigating circumstance there, wasn't it? And they're going for goal here. Matt Moylan's got a bit of confidence in his boots. Surprised at this?
Not quite sure about this one. The message is being sent down to kick this, to make it 16-0. Perhaps just a bit of scoreboard pressure for later in the game, Dave. I think the way that the Leopards have been playing, particularly after 10 minutes in this game, I would have thought that they've chanced their arm, kicked it into touch, and maybe had another set at them.
So here's Moylan, directly in front of the sticks, and he has struck it well enough. So 16 points to 0. Leigh now lead. And we're very deep. I mean, good heavens, that first half, this first half is going very quickly. 7 minutes left to play in the opening half. And Leigh completely dominating here.
Yeah. And those two penalties that they've just given away, the Rhinos, just to increase that lead from 14 to 16. Quite a bit of ill discipline from the Rhinos.
So Lockie Miller with the right boot to sweep it downfield, and
Good catch.
Moylan's come a long way to catch it. I think in a cricket field they've been having a look to see if it hit the ground first before he got his fingertips underneath it. He did ever so well there. And it has given Leigh safe possession to head back towards the south end of this ground.
Play on. Third. Move. Hold. Go for it.
Here's Dwyer. And Amon still going.
4. James, don't readjust.
You would imagine that Tom Amon will probably do the full 80. He plays big minutes for a middle, finds himself at loose forward this evening.
Moylan is out inside the 40, I should say, when he kicked that, but obviously doesn't trouble the touchline. It's trouble Lockie Miller just a little, but slamming it backwards. And
look at the chase, Dave.
Leigh chase is fantastic there.
Yeah, I just cast my mind back to when Lachlan Lamb put that kick in that Lewis Roberts defended. That set sort of seemed to change the complexity of the half, and it's another defensive set from the Leopards that's going to give themselves a good crack at this Rhinos line once more when they do get the ball back off this set.
Well, we've tipped our hats to the brilliance of Leigh in attack tonight, but defensively they are looking very stern, really focused. McDonald gets up and plays. Leeds moving it forward again, but they've hit the 5th tackle, still 10 metres short of the halfway line. So a big kick required. Frawley under pressure just a little from the chase down, but gets that kick away.
So turn over, Gareth, where you want it.
Just seeing that, I thought Milo Hanley maybe could have caught that on the full and just returned it straight away.
Marcus, if you want it, Leeds.
He elects to leave it to bounce and go over the sideline.
You don't want to mess up your home debut, though, do you? I mean, if you've scored a try, you don't want to be the fella who then fumbles the ball out of play and gives the opposition a leg up.
Well, I think as a winger, you just catch the ball, don't you?
You're probably right. I was just giving mitigating circumstances. Bear in mind that you weren't often in that position. Look at those stats.
78% completion rate, which has been much better than what the Leopards have served up in round 1 and 2. 10 errors, of course, against St Helens last week, and 13 in round 1. Well, a much better display as Hardacre goes searching now, finds himself on the opposite side of the field.
Well, interesting there that Leigh seemed to be down in the vital statistics, didn't they? A bit like Leeds were against Catalan last week, and yet just like Leeds against Catalan last week, it's Leigh who have the lead, despite the fact they've had less possession and fewer completions. But here they come again with Hardacre. Hanley cuts back on the inside, tracks away from Martin, who will not be beaten.
Martin trying to pinch that ball one-on-one from Hanley.
Last play, Moylan. Here's Lamb, skipping in to O'Brien, who sends a bouncing, difficult ball downfield, which Miller does well to get a hold of, but look again where Leigh is starting from.
Yeah, if it's not the long kicks, it's a short kicking game, and Amon goes looking there for Roberts, but that short kicking game that the Leopards have been able to do, well, the net result of that is that you've got Frawley, a halfback, trying to take the line on and trying to pinch some metres. That's 3 tackles gone, Dave, and they've made about 30 centimetres.
How do Leeds relieve this tension, this pressure here? Because Leigh absolutely all over them. Goudemont can't get too far downfield before he's stopped. Everywhere they look, there's a vice-like grip coming towards them for these Leeds players. And 12 metres out from their own line, after 5 tackles, they have to kick. So O'Brien catches, and it's going to be over the halfway line in the blink of an eye. And Leigh again start with a potentially attacking set here.
Yeah, no, it's just brilliant from Adrian Lamb's men. You know, they've got a lot out of that loss at St Helens. You know, obviously missing Asiata for most of that game, missing Tom Amon through suspension, but they were still very much in that contest, and a terrific defensive display from them. They always looked like they were going to be second best in that game, but their efforts in defence, which what would have pleased Adrian Lamb, as Asiata looks on.
Well, they're full of energy, full of enthusiasm, and full of ideas, because here comes Lannon O'Donnell again, almost picking a way through. Dwyer comes up quickly, and Moan will carry it on. Right foot step, tries to smuggle it underneath, but I think he's lost the ball. Oh no! Referee's having a look here.
Time off. Bennett is tackled for. I have no try. Just checking double movement, please, mate.
Double movement, as you can hear.
Great ball. So we have a live call on field of no try. So we're checking double movement first of all, so we need to check it full speed.
Yeah. That's the live call.
And just going back on that one for me. And nice and slow now on this. And we'll just have a look on the camera angle too, if we can. And just going back on this one, please.
Live call's no try.
Ball kind arm is down. And then, in my opinion, the ball is then promoted. Thank you, I've now made my decision.
Well, the decision is taken, and the decision is no try.
No try, double movement.
Wow.
There's about 5,000 in front of us who cannot believe that.
I thought he'd gone 10 back.
Kyle, what do you reckon?
Oh, I thought it was a try. His left arm's down, or maybe just there underneath. It looked like a Tom Amone landed on his left arm, still had the ball in the air and promoted it. I think he may have had his pocket pinched, but it matters not.
So a bit of relief for Leeds. They're still a long way back. Well, that was potentially a game breaker towards the end of this first half.
Well, it was the play before, Dave, that undone it all. It was a beautiful line once again on the inside of Brodie Croft. I love watching Brodie Croft playing, but tonight defensively, he's finding himself in an awful lot of trouble.
Lamb got a hand on that. 0 tackle as a result. O'Connor takes it on and weaves deeper into Leigh territory. That's a good carry.
0. Move!
And 6 to go from here for Leeds.
The next will be 0.
Minute and 10 on the clock. They should get through this set. They desperately need to get themselves on the scoreboard before the hooter sounds. Frawley wants to get on with it. Out it comes to Croft. Croft now puts it back on the inside. Newman can't go further left because of the obstruction man in front of him. So Croft will take it on. Leigh defenders diving all over him. 45 to go. It's with Frawley. And just straightened up. Gudimon down. 5 away. Akers stands and waits. Spins it left. Oh, and it's a spill. And suddenly the counter-attack is on now. Here's Hardacre. And Hardacre travels. 25 to go. It's Leigh now who live in hope of scoring before the half-time hooter sounds. Hanley pushing off the defensive efforts of Frawley, getting himself to the halfway line. 12 seconds to go. One last play in the half. Moylan spins it out. Lamb along the line. Lutelli steps on the inside. Hooter sounds. Lutelli desperate to get it away, but can't. And Adrian Lamb stands up, hugely satisfied. A first half performance full of fizz and class from Leigh. Lots for Rowan Smith to think upon in this half-time break. Leigh completely dominant, leading at half-time by 16 points to 0.
Dave, Kyle, thank you very much. What a first 40 minutes from the Leigh Leopards, under pressure to secure their first win of season 2024. Adrian Lamb will surely have a smile on his face as he addresses his troops at half-time. They lead 16-0 against the Leeds side that was fancy to take this one. We'll have first half analysis with Jamie Jones-Buchanan and Jody Cunningham after this. What a start for the Leopards. First try of the game goes to Gareth O'Brien as that lethal left edge clicked once more. We'll be back with you after this. Just a reminder, in case you needed one, Anthony Joshua is taking on Francis Ngannou live on Sky Sports Box Office. Do not miss a packed night of the boxing. Main event is due from 11 p.m. The fight, of course, is available to Sky customers in the UK and Ireland. Virgin Media and EE TV customers, contact your operator. If you want any more information, go to skysports.com leeds.com/box office for any more information. Well, if you were with us pre-game, you would have heard of Salford have not won at St Helens since 1980. And at half-time, they trail the Saints. This was the second try of the game after Jack Welsby went over first for the Saints. Lewis Dodd finished this sweeping move, 8-0 at that stage. Salford hit back through Dion Cross before St Helens scored the last try of that game. That half, I should say. Over the jungle. Huddersfield Giants, what a start they had to the game, went 12-0 up. Adam Swift's early try was followed by this effort from Adam Clune in a senior hit back for Casper before Sam Halsall scored again for Huddersfield, and we believe they may have wrapped up another one there. We've got quite the first 40 minutes. We've had quite the first 40 minutes here at the Leigh Sports Village. Leeds went into this one as favourites. Remember, the Leigh Leopards without their talismanic figure of John Asiata out with an injury. But it's the Leopards who have impressed everyone here. 16-0 half-time lead. Jody Cunningham and Jamie Jones-Buchanan joining me here at pitchside. Quick word from you, Jody, on what you have just seen, and maybe how surprised you are with what you've just seen.
Well, yeah, it might be cold here, but Leigh are on fire, aren't they? I did not expect that. I think they've come out here possibly with no pressure. We spoke about pressure of the season. I think actually pressure was off them in this game with the injuries, the players they've got out. Nobody expected them to win. I definitely didn't, and they've been outstanding.
Pick up on that point that Jody just made about pressure, and the pressure the Leigh Leopards put on the Leeds Rhinos after being under some pressure of their own down here, this end of the field, forcing them to try and run the ball on the last, bizarrely, on the last, forcing a turnover.
Yeah, well, the Leigh Leopards don't look like they're hunted tonight. They're on the hunt. They've sniffed some blood. They've got a firm track. They're moving quicker than the Rhinos. They look like a team of Leopards. You can see them off the baseline here, just hunting up, getting forward, getting some big collision, and just taking it to Leeds, getting at it, reloading really quick and building pressure. And when they've been at this side of the field, they'll look really good. They've executed wave after wave of great play. Excellent defence from
What
Leigh
was
Leopards.
This?
Yeah, a lack of urgency, just confusion. And look, that's the difference for me. Leigh get the ball, we want to play, let's have it here, let's attack. You can't start asking questions at referee. You've got to get on your goal line, you've got to defend really quick. And look at some of the inside pressure here, sweeping round. O'Brien just splits open Croft and Newman like Moses through the Red Sea there, and it's just a great, fantastic try, well executed again from that lethal left edge.
And that lethal left edge that we said pre-game hadn't fired. It hadn't fired. It was so good in 2023. It's only a 2-game sample size before tonight in 2024, but we made the point we hadn't seen the very best of them, and we thought John Asiata's absence may mean that they wouldn't be as effective, but we were wrong.
Yeah, we were wrong. I think O'Donnell's caused all world of hell on this right-hand side defensively for Leeds. Sorry, I think Brodie Croft really struggled there with his really attacking lines and the pressure that he was putting on there.
Now you talk about urgency.
And this is it. Give me the ball. I want to tap it. I'm ready to play now. And Andy's right on his shoulder, ready to play over the halfway line, 40 metres out. And everybody's all set up. It's a well-executed trading field play. And just look at that line from Kyle O'Donnell, both left and right. And he had numbers outside. If he decides to go out the back, he's got numbers. But O'Donnell's just hitting them lines with great precision. Gets over there.
And we could do it both sides of the field.
Yeah, absolutely. This right edge wanted a piece of the action, didn't they? I think O'Brien's done a fantastic job of just slipping into that line really late, so it's really hard to defend, and he's got the ball handling skills of a halfback and finds the pass there to Amira Hanley, who I think also had an outstanding first half.
Okay, 14-0 up. They make the decision to kick a penalty. What were your thoughts on that?
Just keep driving the hammer home, keep the ticking.
Would you have kicked the penalty?
Well, goal kicking's been a big issue for everybody, hasn't it? Just watched them kick the first goal of the season. Why not get a couple more? 16-0 at half-time. Job's a good one for Leigh.
Yeah, I can put it to you like this, Jody. It's almost reminiscent of Leeds from 2023. It was a difficult season for them. They made life difficult for themselves in many games. I'm thinking about particularly against the Catalan Dragons, where they went behind at half-time, came back and won the game. 18-6 down, I think, at the DW Stadium, came back and walloped the Wigan Warriors. I mean, that may happen, but it will be eerily reminiscent of what happened to them last year.
Yeah, and look, Leeds know that they can do it. They've flipped all the stats. They've had more possession and they've had the ball more in the right position, but they've just not been able to do it. Leigh, when they've had their opportunities, they've took it. They've had intensity. They've had speed of possession. Look, Leeds can come back from this. They know that they can, but Leigh look on fire. They've
got a really level temperament of Leeds. They're not going to be in there too disappointed. If the scoreline was the other way around, they wouldn't be too excited either. Going to come out and they'll carry on playing in the philosophical nature of Rowan Smith, as you've just spoke to before the game. That's how they approach the game. They'll be good second half, they'll compete.
Well, it seems so long ago since Nikolai Oledzki sliced through some fragile Leigh defence, but it's now all belongs to the Leopards. And here is Carol Decker performing China in Your Hand for the Leopards fans in here, who are certainly the happier after what they've seen from the first 40 minutes of this round 4 fixture from the Betfred Super League. They have been absolutely outstanding after sustaining some early Leeds Rhinos pressure. It has been all Adrian Lamb's Leopards. Second half on the way after this short break.
We go. This is Xavier Coates territory. Taps it back. Now Remus Smith scores. Impossible to defend. Xavier Coates with the tap. Remus Smith with the stretch. What a turnaround.
Impossible to defend and impossible to beat the Melbourne Storm in round 1. Craig Bellamy extends his record to an incredible 22 seasons without a round 1 loss. A reminder, we've got much more NRL action coming up for you from round 2 next Thursday. The Broncos Rabbitohs, 9 a.m. on Sky Sports Arena and on Main Event. And on Saturday, it's a Storm against the Warriors, 8:35 again, Arena and Main Event. And the same 2 channels on Sunday at 7:15 for the Dolphins against the Dragons. We got a doubleheader from the Betfred Super League tomorrow coming up for you, as well as the Wigan Warriors, the champions, travel to the capital to take on newly promoted London Broncos. That's 2:55 p.m. on Sky Sports Action. Same channel at 5:25 from the south of France as Hull FC come to town. Let's run you through the other scores at half-time in the other 2 games. Of course, St Helens in action against Salford. They lead 14-6 at half-time. Wellesby Dodd, Percival with their tries. Dion Cross hitting one back for Salford. And Huddersfield against Castleford. It is 18-4 at half-time to the visiting Giants. Just a reminder, if you have just joined us, we have seen quite the incredible first 40 minutes from the Leigh Leopards. Shorn of John Asiata, they have made light of that, hitting Leeds Rhinos for 3 tries and keeping them scoreless in a very impressive first 40. Let's get the halftime team news from the tunnel as we cross to Danica.
Yeah, thank you, Adrian. I'm pretty happy, but surprisingly, thinks they lacked a little bit of detail. Rowan Smith, however, said very simple: run harder, tackle harder. Thanks, Brian.
Danica, thank you very much. Well, he hasn't complicated the message, JB. That's as simple as you can get as a rugby league player, hearing those words ringing in your ear from your coach at half-time.
That's rugby league, mate. Run hard, tackle hard, and the rest of it will look after itself. And I'd agree with that. I think Leeds have been all right with the ball in their hand. Certainly need a lot more urgency and a lot more collision as well, control, when Leigh are throwing them outstanding shapes at them.
Leeds are out here early, awaiting the arrival of the Leigh Leopards. It's a Leigh Leopards side that could, with a victory, with closing this out, start season 2024 eventually in quite spectacular fashion.
Well, they've scored more points in this first half than they have so far in the first 2 rounds that they've played. So, look, they're going to want more of that. They're going to feel like it's clicking. They're going to come out with confidence and knowing that, you know, they're finally starting to find points on the left edge, the right edge. They've got targets all over the field, so they're going to be feeling good now.
Fair to say there was almost a fragility in Leigh in that first 10 minutes or so. I referenced the Nikolai Oledzki run where he went very, very close. But they've soaked all that up and turned this right around.
Yeah, it started to align fully. I've watched them in those first 2 rounds where they haven't scored too many points, and it's been, I know you don't like that word, clunky, Brian, but it has. There's been balls on the
find
floor,
another one.
Balls been around them. But I just love, and I've been mesmerised by Matt Moylan when he was playing at Cronulla, the theatrical way in which he engaged the line. It was like he's doing a paso doble bit on the ballroom dance floor. But tonight it's been absolutely bang on. The way he squared up, the way that Lamb squared up, Leeds is struggling to map and get off and get to the next man, and that's why those good lines have caused so many problems.
What would be the biggest threat to Leigh's chances of closing this one out now? What could they do to most damage their chances?
Well, it's what Leeds need to do. I think for me, Leeds probably need to pull out one of those special plays that they've done so well at the start of this season, build a bit of confidence, get points on the board, put pressure on.
Okay, well, it's Leigh Leopards in the box seat. Let's see if they can secure their first win of season 2024. Let's go back to Kyle Moore and to Dave Woods.
Thanks, Brian. Well, the Leopards are live wires. The Rhinos need a response, and quickly, in this second half. I love those half-time, what we need to do. Score tries, stop them scoring tries.
Yeah, run harder and tackle harder is Rowan Smith's message. Well, the Leopards.
Lockie Miller lifts it high. Leigh have first touch of possession in this second half. How do you read it now, Kyle, in terms of what both sides need to do in this next 40 minutes?
Well, I think the message is simple for the Leopards. They just need to have to go through their sets in yardage, kick the ball long, chase hard, chase with the intent like they had done in the first 40 minutes, keep applying the pressure to the Rhinos, and they should get away with this. Sorry, get away with it, that's a bit disrespectful. They should continue to do exactly what they've done and being the better team so far this evening. And for the Rhinos, you know, they just need to get more sharper and nice opportunities when they get anywhere near Leigh's line.
Such a long wait for Leeds, having come out about 2 or 3 minutes before Leigh emerged. They almost needed another warm-up. It would have been a bit chilly out there. It is still bitingly cold. Leigh having reached the last play. Moylan with a boot downfield. Hanley with the catch, and sees 3, 4, 5 waiting for him directly in front. And not too much distance covered before the tackling is efficient.
Yeah, solid opening set there from Leigh. Just carrying the ball in between the scrum lines in the middle of the field, and then Moylan just putting boot to ball. Perhaps would have liked a little bit more on it. Hadley was able to defuse and return the ball back.
Lockie Miller has been operating out of dummy half, but eventually he is replaced here by Ackers. And an effort forward from Tom Holroyd, who takes Leeds inside the Leigh half for the first time in this second half. Frawley, here's Martin. Can't wrestle free from the grasp of a couple of Leigh defenders who make sure he can't offload. They're on the last here, they've gone tight, and Frawley puts it high, and O'Brien's travelled well, and he's taken mid-air. Well, absolute nailed-on penalty.
Oh, I think Brodie Croft, he just can't slow his feet down. He doesn't really make an attempt to tackle. He knows he's too far committed. O'Brien's in the air and he just clips his legs from underneath him. He has a little look. I'm not so sure. He looks twice. Perhaps the last one was just an emergency, almost wanting to pull out. But he does catch his legs high.
Yeah, Brodie, I understand what you're going to say to me, that you're contested for the ball, but you've got a responsibility there. You haven't jumped, you haven't gone for the ball. It's a penalty against you, that's it though.
Yeah, emergency stop, but...
Well, he looks twice, Dave. He looks twice. He could have stopped earlier.
Yeah.
And I think Chris Kendall's got that decision right. Pretty similar to the one that was a penalty against the Rhinos in the second half. I don't think there's any need for any further action.
So Leigh with a chance to build, albeit from deep. Dwyer at a dummy half. Here comes Hardacre.
But once again, Dave, I mentioned the 4 yardage penalties in the first half. Well, the second half's only 2.5 minutes old, and they've done it again.
Amon back on the inside. They're crashing their way into an advantageous position inside their opponent's half now, Leigh. Amon just straightens up. I mean, he's been powerful, hasn't he? He's been terrific tonight.
Right. He's been brilliant ever since he landed here in England. As Dwyer takes off, Moylan now with shape around him.
Oh, little dummy shown by O'Brien, and then the pass away for Hanley. Oh, my word! If this is a try, and you know what I think it might be, wow. This is crazy special.
Bennett is tackled 4. We have a try.
Ellery Hanley had no... Myla Hanley, I should say, had no right to be anywhere near.
So we have a live call on field of the try. So we go nice and steady on this angle. Please make sure you stay with the play. Oh, just go back slightly on that one. And we're going slow through this. He's in the field of play now. Slow, slow. Just go back. Stop it there. Pause it there. Thank you. I've now made my decision.
Oh, denied. Oh. Denied. No try.
It's a turnover. He's got into
But what about that effort from Myla Hanley?
Yeah.
I don't think we ever saw his dad do anything like that.
Certainly not. And it opens up again far too easy. And it's the effort from Ash Hanley that just denies.
Oh, and I think the hand's down as well, isn't it?
Oh, that's a shame.
But
I think every fan across Super League, apart from Rhinos fans, would have wanted that to be scored. What a sensational effort. But terrific defence from Ash Hanley.
Welcome home, Amila. First game here tonight, and he's making a name for himself. One try scored, one spectacular effort just about ruled out. There might be more to come. Who knows? Ackers for Leeds. Can they take advantage of that let-off? Can they work something in their favour here?
Well, they need to score next.
Frawley got the runners on the outside. Here's Momirovski, but look how many Leigh players are there in attendance. If there was daylight, the door was quickly shut. Miller. It'll be Frawley who gets booted away before Hardacre gets to him. They're having a cuddle on the field as well. Oh, great take by O'Brien, and a good chase from Newman.
Yeah, brilliant chase there from Harry Newman through the middle of the field. What a wonderful take as well from O'Brien. There's Josh Charnley, you see that, just going over the back of his head, and straight away, Newman all over him.
We're seeing some super, sorry Carl, we're seeing some super skills here tonight, and yeah, this is one of the few firm pitches we've seen, so.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. As Super League progresses through the months, it will open up, and there's another high tackle. This time, it's Andy Ackers. That's the 6-yardage penalty. And they're absolutely killing themselves at the moment. They really are. Their ill discipline has been awful. You just see, gets in between them. Holroyd gives Ackers a head clash, but it's Ackers' arm that catches him underneath. And the crowd, they're getting rather excited at this moment, waiting for the referee's decision.
Again, the video referee's having a look at this. So, low-level force is what we heard from the video referee. I'm happy that it's just a penalty.
Yeah.
Here let's have a listen here.
All right, we've judged it's not forceful, dangerous. What I need you to get into now, I've had Andy and Jared that have been very close. Yeah. Any more of those, I might have to take further action. Yeah. All right?
We're on that one.
Yeah, and that's what we've ruled. Yeah.
Well, we saw the relaxing of the rules after a couple of incidents similar to that. Yeah. If that had been a few weeks ago, he could have been in trouble, Ackers, but the rules have been changed, and thankfully, yes, they have as well.
We were all incredibly depressed after that New Brown sending off for Hull against Warrington a couple of weeks ago, wondering what was happening to the game, but it just seems to have become a little more common sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
A little more balanced in recent weeks.
We talk about stats throughout the game. Well, the biggest stat at the moment is the penalties conceded, 8-2. Leeds Rhinos are leading that, but it's the Leopards who are leading on the board.
Dwyer Tormone denied a first-half try. Looking to get as close as he can. Ackers lifts and puts him down. 3 tackles to go. Dwyer with a short pass and a push towards the line here by Norman. Just held away. Dwyer again. It's with Moylan. Quick hands over the top. Hanley steps back on the inside. Full beaten with that right-footed step, but not shaken off. Hanley with a tackle on Hanley. And another big effort, both in terms of attack and defence. Held up.
Gets the ball down, that's turnover.
It's Frankie Holt who's underneath that.
Just let go.
Yeah, Brad Dwyer just opts to go down the right-hand side of the field, and there was only another 2 runners there. It was almost 3-on-2 in favour of the Rhinos. And Frankie Holton, the big back rower, with white, blue and amber shirts all over. Chris Kendall, what a position that is.
Move! Go,
Leigh fans are animated. Ole, 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 echoing a few moments ago. They're enjoying this tonight. It's been a tricky start to the year, but it's all flourishing nicely now.
Well, I was here in round one, Dave, against their performance against the Huddersfield Giants, and neither side were, you know, considering it was round one, it was an awful game to be at, really. But this certainly feels different. Brodie Croft there trying to take the line on, but he's met by a leopard shirt again in Dan Norman. He gives away the penalty too long.
So what, don't write Leeds off here, because if they can score in this next few minutes, we saw that they have a lot of pedigree and belief last week against the Catalan.
I think the big difference really is that when Leigh are anywhere near their opposition line, they look threatening. And the Rhinos, most of their threatening parts of their play, the off-the-cuff stuff, the ad-lib, the searching back through the middle of the field. When they've got anywhere near the home side's line, they just haven't been able to penetrate it through a lack of detail.
6 again, Oledzki.
6 again, Marcus.
Win predictor is giving Leeds no chance. But Leeds won't be looking at that just a moment. Ackers into dummy half. Comes O'Connor, spins it back, and a twist by Martin. And Martin, well, the Leeds fans behind the sticks believe he's got that down, and it's confirmed by the referee. And suddenly Leeds are given some hope here, provided by Reece Martin.
And it all comes off the back of a penalty that puts them in that field position. And Reece Martin was just able to run a lovely little line. Gets out on the outside shoulder of Matt Moylan. Zach Hardacre, too aggressive, creates that space. And Reece Martin able to take it. Hardacre up hard, up fast. Moylan desperate to make a legs tackle, and Gareth O'Brien, well, he can't do enough there. And the big right arm of Martin just dots that ball down and breathes a bit of relief back into this Rhino side. 16-4 kick to come.
So 16-0 becomes 16-4. May very well be 16-6 in just a moment. And that looks eminently doable all of a sudden. Martin settles. Kick is good, as you would expect for a man of his kicking pedigree. And we do have a contest on our hands here still.
Yeah, just a bit of disconnect between the half and the centre. And just creates that space, and it's a lovely faded line. Reece Martin just changes his run. Arcs outside on the outside shoulder of Moylan, and he's able to spin. And has a bit of work to do, and doesn't he do it well?
Still 30 minutes left to play.
Stay behind.
It's an age. Leigh looking to settle.
Okay, Gareth.
Back to where they were. Remember, it was about 30 minutes into the first half before they found their attacking mojo as such and ripped Leeds apart.
Well, it's funny that Rowan Smith's message was about running harder, and it was Reece Martin's hard running line that gets them on the board this evening.
They are finding ground again.
Put your arms down. I'm not going to have that again. Move.
Here's Ackers, 10 short of the halfway line. Leads with belief. Rowan offloads, keeps it alive, keeps it interesting. Search back towards the centre of this field, but you can't find a way through. Ackers. Oh, he's off here. Andy Ackers just had his ankles tapped, but he gets it away. Lockie Miller carries it on. Croft now, bang to the ground, but 10 metres out, and Leeds have a penalty. So they'll get another set of 6 here. And it's a 10-minute sin bin for Gareth O'Brien. Professional foul, out comes a yellow. Leigh are down to 12. Leeds have a try on the board and 6 tackles from 10 metres out.
Well, only time will tell whether it's a smart foul from Gareth O'Brien, but Andy Ackers just gets in between Dan Norman and Frankie Holton, who works at marker, gets an ankle tap on him. But Brodie Croft is a wonderful tackle from Amila Hanley.
Immediately on they go again. Tom Holroyd with a drive. A settler. Will there be fizz on the next play? O'Connor to Croft. And there is a penalty for Leigh for obstruction. I think it was Ruan who ran the obstruction line.
Affects the slide.
Oh, it's discipline again, discipline and detail. I mentioned in the first, earlier, that the detail in good ball, the contrast between the home side and the visitors, well, that pitch is there. It's just all evidence for it. Detail and discipline is what's hurt the Rhinos. And you just felt that that was a huge opportunity for them, Dave, even though there's still 28 minutes left in this game.
Little moments change matches, don't they? And that never mind little moment, that could have been a huge moment there. There's still a tackles in the bag, and Leigh were rocking just a little.
Nakubawai out on the field.
Bench, yep. Leigh finding the way over the halfway line. Davis another from the interchange bench. This is hammered forward by Norman. It's a rock and roll night here tonight. It really is a terrific atmosphere and a great game as well. Still in the balance for all at Leigh's sparkle in the first half. Leeds have found a way to dig themselves back in, but Leigh looking to extend that gap again. It's a tester, and it's passed superbly by Miller with a leap of the catch.
You know, Lockie Miller just climbs higher than anyone else to defuse that situation as Hanley straightens up. We've already seen what he can do from backfield. Those 2 tries that he's scored so far are probably try contenders for the season, even though we're only in round 3. There'll be quality on the highlight reel come round 27.
Here's Roberts. Elsewhere, St Helens leading against Salford, but it's narrow, and Mark Percival's been sent off in that game, we're told, so Saints down to 12. And Huddersfield continue their domination down the lane at Cass, leading by 24 points to 8. But Leeds here are looking more than interested. Hardacre, in the absence of O'Brien, is back at full-back and catches well.
Well, that's promising for Salford. You know, Stuart Pike mentioned at the start of the game, 1980 was the last time that they won in St Helens. Well, boy, they've got an opportunity in the closing stages of that game.
Well, they've come close a few times in recent years, haven't they? The playoff game with what they would say was a dodgy penalty try decision. But they would, wouldn't they?
Of course.
Meantime, back at Leigh Sports Village, this is fantastic stuff at the moment as Leigh look to bring it back towards that Leeds half.
Hasn't Kyle O'Donnell had a good game tonight?
Hanley's involved down the middle. He's not going to extricate himself from that tackle. Has to get up and play. Lamb with a kick. Moylan with a catch, but it is still the 6th. Somehow they get it away. Somehow they keep it alive, but there is a knock-on.
There's a bit of a mess towards the end of that set. It was Moylan who gathers the kick and gets the offload away. But he actually kicks the ball forward, and big Dan Norman just can't pull that in. And the ball's turned over, but look where it's turned over again, Dave. That's what Leigh have done really well for the majority of the night. They've just asked the Rhinos to come all the way up to the other end of the field if they're going to get anything out of them. And defensively, they've aimed up.
Here's Miller.
Here we are, Kai. Wait here.
O'Connor. Left it comes to Frawley. Frawley upended. Leeds running out of tackles as they advance towards the halfway line. Momorowski hunting again, trying to create some numbers, but can't get away.
Don't go early. Go for.
This is Ackers, and here comes Croft. And again stopped on his travels before he could make a real nuisance of himself. Last play, Frawley has a look up. Big boot, Hardacre, and catches safely enough. And down he goes. I think Danica's got some news on the touchline. Danica.
Yeah, unfortunate blow for Leeds Rhinos. James McDonald has asked to come off the field due to illness and will not be returning tonight, just as they've got momentum.
Well, there's a blow. not looking too great. And off the field from illness, as you heard.
That's a good carry from Myler Hanley. I think he's been exceptional tonight, considering it's only his 14th game of Super League. Robbie Mulhern back in, and he's looking dangerous around the ruck once more. They've got a roll on here, Dave.
Well, they really have got momentum now, haven't they, as Davies carries deeper still. And one play to go. Hardacre claps his hands, wants to get on with this. Comes to the boot of Lamb. That's steepling. That's a tester. Who fancies that? I think it might have been knocked on. Zero tackle. It has been knocked on by Lewis Roberts, of all of them. So 6 tackles to go for Leigh, and it's a knock-on. Wow. Well, you knock on, we'll knock on. And Leeds a little bit of perhaps undeserved self-congratulation.
The young winger on that far side of the field will breathe the biggest sigh of relief through Lachlan Lamb's error. Just there, as he makes contact with the floor, he just loses it.
Never had control of that situation, did he?
No, he turns his head away. Perhaps a little nudge from Latelli as they compete in the air that just takes his eye line off the ball. But again, the Rhinos just find themselves 16, 17 metres away from the line, but...
Yeah, Leigh, I think he's said no advantage there, hasn't he? So he's given Leigh the ball from that first knock-on. This is Hughes. Eventually, Myler Hanley has to untangle himself from Martin. Exchanging shoves and pushes. Meantime, the game carries on, and Reece Martin is out of position. He got tangled up in that, and he might have left his side down a man in defence momentarily, but Leeds have just about hold on. Back it comes to Moylan and now Lamb, and Lamb looks across to Hardacre, who steps away from one challenge, offers it back on the inside again. This now is Latelli. Latelli driving it in. And Davies waits a dummy half, and Leigh come again, and Mulhern with all his power. But well blocked and stopped by Ackers. Another set of 6 for Leigh. It's another wave of attack. Can Leeds hang on? Yes, they can, because just when they had that advantage, the ball's knocked forward again.
Yeah, Adrian Lamb disappointed there. Moylan's soft pass, and Frankie Holton, he doesn't really commit to this line. It's a laboured effort from him. Just needs to commit himself, back himself, and continue. He almost pulls off the line, and as a result, he just drops that ball.
Leigh lad, Frankie Holton, I think he's the only Leigh lad in the Leigh side tonight.
Let's go, back down. Head in.
Coming up on Sky tomorrow, by the way. We're looking forward to that at Wimbledon. London against Wigan. On air at 2:55 on Sky Sports Action. And followed by Catalan and Hull on the same channel, so double header. The verdict on Wednesdays, 3:30 p.m. And available now, the bench with Jenna and John at skysports.com/podcasts. Plenty to keep you entertained throughout the weekend and the week. And plenty to keep you entertained here tonight as well.
It sure is. A 10-point ball game as we enter the final quarter tonight here, Dave, on Sky Sports.
Here's Martin. Now Momirovski. Early ball to Hadley. He's not got too much room to work with there, Hanley.
Oh, no, he didn't need that.
And it is a penalty.
Myler Hanley, I mean, full of praise for his efforts tonight, but that's a dumb penalty to give away. And Lockie Miller does a quick tap here. Crosses over the 40, gives it to Croft, who dances in between.
Well, they've had some relatively tight games, have Leeds, in the opening 3 games. So they're used to this pressure pot situation. They've won 2 of them against Salford and Catalan last week. Can they produce something special here? Oh, Frawley with a dummy! That is sensational! Matt Frawley had them all grasping for air, wondering where he'd gone. He's under the sticks, fellas. He scored the try. And Leeds have served their intent now.
Well, Matt Frawley comes up with such a huge score. He's first in Rhinos colours. There's 2 parts to this play. The second part we just see there, Frankie Holton far too wide from the ruck. But it's the play before from Mikolaj Aletsky. The ruck speed, it's too quick for the Leopards. And Frankie Holton's far too wide as the first defender. Matt Frawley spots that and just does a beautiful show and go. Now we've got a game that threatens to go the distance. Just that carry, the quickness of it, you can see they're not back, they're not set. And the distance between Robbie Mulhern's effort, there's no change in leg speed. The width of Frankie Holton and the 2 points added, 16-10. Here we go.
16-12. Even better if you're a Leeds fan. Well, there's a bright spark on the Leeds benches now. A real belief that their side might just be turning round a difficult situation into a winning situation. Not just yet. Leigh will have a response, but 19 minutes to go, and suddenly Leeds are within sight.
Stay behind.
Well, momentum, always twos and fro's in the game of rugby league, and it's the Rhinos who are riding it at the moment. Difficult take, brilliant take.
Catch.
Surrender. Stand. Wait. Go on.
Sangare.
2. Move, Robbie. Hold here. That's ball carrier. Go 2.
Leeds with a real fist to their play at the moment.
Move, Jack. Frankie, here we are. Wait. We get.
Here's O'Connor. Smith along the line.
4. Move, Matt. Back, Zach.
O'Connor in again. Frawley again. Smith's on his inside. He used him as a foil, but it's not bought. Tackle completed by Holton. And one last play for Leeds. Here's Martin. And the chase is on. And Hanley inside for Momorowski. Back to Hanley. It's his 6th try of the season. It's Leeds' 3rd try and a half. If it's given. If it is given, it'll be all square.
From the kick. Okay, time off.
Touch judge asking the question.
10, tackle 2. I have a try. Just checking downtime offside, please, man.
Oh. And we're going to pause it on the foot, so just going back and we're just pausing on the foot. We're playing on from there. You can clearly see that 5 is onside, so we'll roll this on and see what happens from here. It picks the ball up cleanly and offloads. Now we're going through into the grounding if we can. Camera 2. Nice and slow on this. Thank you. I've now made my decision.
This is going to bring a response, and the try is confirmed. Would you believe we're back level at 16 points apiece? And in this second half, it's been all Leeds.
Well, it's took them 23 minutes before the game's just almost been flipped on its head. And it's a beautiful eyes-up play, a short side elected again down this left edge of the field, a kick from Reece Martin. And Momorowski, you could be forgiven to think he'll just slide over himself, but a beautiful ball, wonderful weighted offload, back inside to Handley, who gets his 6th try in 2024. Those two combined, but the kick from Martin was beautiful. What about this for a pressure kick, Dave?
Reece Martin. You look down the list of kickers at different clubs and you put him down as being one of the most dependable. But this is to give his side the lead for the very first time tonight. It's an improbable set of circumstances. It has gone wide and it remains all square at 16 points apiece. And the spectre of golden point is still on the cards. But what a finish we're going to have here tonight.
Yeah, we certainly are. I mentioned earlier we threatened to go the distance. Now it looks like we're going there.
Stay behind.
16 minutes to go.
A difference of emotions in the second half on the two coaching benches. Almost as if Rowan Smith was shaking his head saying, I don't believe this, but his side again are producing a response here.
I just think if you look at the 3 tries that the Rhinos have scored, rewind it to the play before, and on that occasion it was Frawley who had Cameron Smith inside, just wonderful shape, but running hard and straight and direct.
Andy Ackers going down the touch into the dressing rooms, I should say. We're told he's got a shin injury, so Well, whether that's a fix-up job and getting back on, I'm not sure. But Jared O'Connor is in at dummy half.
Yeah, Jared O'Connor, an adequate replacement easily. 54 consecutive games for the Rhinos in a row. It's a terrific effort from him. Finds himself back at 9 where he's more comfortable.
5. Move now!
One last play in the set. O'Connor bends his back and back to Frawley. And Frawley trying to put some spin on that ball and make it as difficult as possible for O'Brien, who's back on the field, of course, having been sin-binned. He's not long back on the field.
A very costly sin bin as well it was. Hanley rolls forward. Just gets another 10-15 metres or so.
Move! Hold here.
What does this do to Lee's self-belief? The lead they had, the way they were playing, the champagne cork was out, they were bubbling, but now it's all gone a little flat. They need to find their mojo again, don't they?
Yeah, I'm certainly sure that they'll have a period before this game's out where they'll threaten once more.
4. Move, Justin!
But they've just had a really shocking 15 minutes that they haven't been able to answer anything that the Rhinos thrown at them, but a ball back inside there. Sangare has met him.
Owen Trout is the man who carries that, and he's tackled on the 5th. So Moylan trying to make it interesting here for Lewis Roberts on that far side, and Lockie Miller made a claim for it. And Leeds do have it back. And it is Roberts underneath it in the end. It wasn't the most clinical of finishes in terms of Leeds, but they do have possession, which is the important part.
2.
Handley. Scored in every game now, 6 tries. Scored in every game in the opening 4 matches of this season.
There's fantastic numbers for him already in 2024. Ash Hanley's probably having his best form of his career at the moment inside of 2024. Martin back through the middle of the field.
Where's this going? A game on a knife edge. Leeds with the momentum, but things can change as they have proven themselves. Everybody hesitated then, but the referee sternly says play on. Ruan gets the kick away to Roberts, who dribbles on, but it'll evade all chasers out of play. Leigh have it back, but deep.
And just watch Reece Martins play the ball here.
Ooh.
That's a knock on.
No, never even attempted to play it, did he? Just stepped over it.
Well, I think the man in the middle, Kendall's got an awful lot right, but he's missed that one.
And everybody seemed to stop there as well, didn't they?
Yeah, everybody in the crowd thought it was as well.
Yeah. Go.
Charlie's come inside to have a help out with getting his side downfield.
Go on.
Rocked around and dragged down. Hardacre now will go out of dummy half. That's good from him.
Move, Justin!
Leigh trying to work things up again. Dwyer. On this right-hand side, Holton's a fairly isolated figure. But now they've got the centre of the field in which to work, and Mulhern goes crashing in and hits a solid wall of Leeds defenders. Dwyer. Trying to get away from Smith. The Leeds skipper does well. Leigh only have 1 play left. Back to Lamb. Lamb's boot is deep. It's going to bounce, is it? Oh no, Roberts got a hand to it. Into the air and catches.
Well, an interesting take from the 21-year-old, but he defuses it.
Step by Newman. On it comes again. Leeds looking to attack from deep here. A spin by Lockie Miller. Still having a sniff of an opportunity.
He's lively, Miller. Nimble on his feet.
Tom!
Quickly taken up by Newman.
Join the tackle!
Saints with that lead against Salford. But nobody's leading this game. Hanley. Dummies on the inside to Martin. Dragged down well by Hardacre. Back it comes to Croft, who steps and finds Martin. And now there's room in which to work. Martin inside again to Croft. Past the despairing tackle. And Henry's there again. And Leeds are there again. And Leeds now are in the lead for the very first time in this game. They've turned it right round. Wow.
Well, Ash Hanley scores his second of the evening. And the Leopards, well, they've just been romped by the rampaging Rhinos. And this left edge again, it's Brodie Croft, eyes up, short side once again. Rhys Martin, a wonderful show and goal. Ball back inside. Dwyer's attempt's not what it needs to be. And Brodie Croft is able to supply a ball to Hanley, who just keeps motoring up the field, knowing that there's a chance to score.
Time, mate. I've got you, Ben.
What a turnaround.
1 minute.
They looked hopeless at half-time, Leeds. But now they are riding the crest of a wave. 20 unanswered points with a kick to come and a win in sight.
Time off.
Well, it doesn't look over happy at the moment, Rowan Smith, but I'm sure he's absolutely delighted with the performance of his side in his second half.
9 minutes to go, lads. Focus. Eyes on the ball.
So here is Rhys Martin, 86% success probability. Remember that statistic worked out from previous record. Position on the field, importance of kick, and over it goes. And now Leeds have a 6-point lead, and is that decisive?
You would imagine so, but just keep your eyes on this here from Lockie Miller. What a ball that is over the top. He's fallen to the ground, and the next play is where Brodie Croft then skirts back, releases Martin, who does the rest.
What a game we're watching here tonight. And there could be another twist. There's time for another twist. 8 minutes to go, plus some. Oh, and Lachlan Lamb, and that is a huge blow. Huge blow for Leigh. The absolute star, the gem in their team, Lachlan Lamb.
Okay, Gareth.
And his dad will be heartbroken.
Well, Lachlan Lamb, he hasn't missed a game since he arrived here in July of 2022.
Okay, Gareth, let's go.
44 games on the bounce, and that's a sad sight to see, and a concerning one for all Leigh Leopards fans.
Fine. One.
Remember, there was a time in this game when Leeds were given absolutely no chance of winning it, because in the first half, Leigh were utterly dominant with those 3 tries in 14 minutes. Leeds, no chance. But then they found their self-belief, they found their brilliance, they lead the game.
Third. Move now! Wait here, go free.
They've just straightened up, carried hard. And a couple of times there's been lapses of concentration and detail in the Leopards' defence. I can think back to that, the Frankie Holton one where Frawley just slices through without a glove touched on him. And then short side players always just show coaches that your head isn't quite in the game where it needs to be getting picked off on a short side. And they're here again through Martin, but he puts boot to ball.
Just putting Leigh on the back foot here, and Zach Hardacre came from in the field of play to catch that, so that's why it's play on.
Stand! Wait, go on.
And Leeds are happy to see Leigh start here. They are doing to Leigh what Leigh did to them in the first half, but there's a little lack of discipline, which has given a cheap penalty away.
Yeah, another yardage penalty as well.
Behind.
Jared O'Connor on a Milo Hanley.
All right, go.
Well, just as we warned not to write Leeds off earlier in this half, similar warning, don't write Leigh off in what remains of the game. But the loss of Lamb is a real blow.
He still hasn't made his way around to the bench with the assistant and the medical staff of the Leigh Leopards. And there's 7 minutes left to go, probably 4 more full sets as Owen Trout just edges towards the Rhinos' halfway line. He's met there by Cameron Smith and O'Connor.
I think I can speak for both of us, Carl, that we're not medical experts, but the way Lamb is being helped off suggests that might be a long-term injury.
Yeah.
Wow, we hope not. Hardacre.
Well,
what price are Leeds try here?
Go.
This is a Mo. Mulhern carries, but it was a tackle off the ball on Amon. So it's a penalty for Leigh.
It was terrific speed from both front rowers combining, but it's Sangare who just can't resist the temptation to just leave a piece on Tom Amon.
Get him back on the field. Get him back on the field.
Well, they're trying to get him off for an interchange, but the referee's saying, just bring him back on a minute, because I need a word.
All right. Is it a penalty? All right. Come.
Video referee suggesting it is just a penalty here.
I don't think he catches him high.
I've had the conversation about foul play too many times. Right. You're in the bin. 10 minutes.
Whoa.
There's too many.
I think the video referee saying in isolation that was just a penalty, but the referee on the field has decided that there's been too many incidents like this, so I'm going to show the yellow card. So Sangare, who was going to go off to be substituted, is now off into the sin bin.
It's a huge call. But Kendall has had a number of words with Smith about the number of penalties that have been borderline, and he's probably just seen enough. But there's a chance here for the Leopards. Shut down there, Momorowski on Zach Hardacre.
This could be quite a finish. Quite a finish. Dwyer, didn't connect. And Leeds get it back. And look at the frustration.
Well, now it's the Leopards who look scruffy in attack. Pass from Dwyer. Or the timing from Amon, whichever way you want to look at it.
He knows. He knows. Opportunity wasted. And Leeds with a chance to clear their lines. I tell you what, that looks tasty at St Helens tonight as well, doesn't it?
That's what we want to see. All the games go right to the wire, Dave. And of course, over at the Jungle, it's Huddersfield who are hammering the Tigers 40 points to 8.
Huddersfield finding their form this season. Tipped by many, I think, last year, the Giants to do well. They didn't, but maybe this year is going to be their year. Who shall see? Leeds, in the meantime, through Frawley with a kick downfield. Hanley, spectacular try scorer in the first half. One denied in the second. Has a chance to bring it forward.
There's only one man who'll be panicking for these next 5 minutes to fly by, and that's Sangare's second yellow card in consecutive weeks. Could it be a costly one for Rhinos?
Here we are. Go to.
Dwyer at a dummy half again. Hughes carries on. Justin Sangare having to rue his misjudgment earlier in terms of the tackle he made that led to the sin binning. Moylan helps it on its way. Latelli cuts back on the inside. 4 minutes to go. Leigh still within a try and a goal of potentially taking us to golden point extra time. Hardacre holds the pass, finds the line, dragged down. Brilliant effort in defence by Reece Martin, that was. Last play for Leigh. O'Brien puts the kick up. Where's the challenge? The take in mid-air from Newman is spectacular. And Leeds survive, and Hearts beat a little slow.
Well, where was the chase from the left edge of the Leopards? There was just too much time with that ball in the air for Newman just to collect that without anybody anywhere near him. You've got to contest those kicks, particularly where you are in the game. You're chasing the game now. A bit more urgency from the Leigh Leopards left edge on that one.
Here's Martin carrying Leeds forward, taking them closer and closer to victory. The clock is on Leeds' side. Just over 3 minutes left to play. Miller with a dodge and then a dart. Hang on. There was an obstructed line and the referee was telling him to get down and play the ball. Miller wanted to carry on. Him and Dwyer now come together. Lockie Miller didn't want to give the ball up. Brad Dwyer was a little angry about that. He's dragged him to the ground.
Come away.
I think Robbie Mulhern just has a little tug on his shirt.
Time is off.
And he goes down heavy. Brad Dwyer wants to play on.
Could this be another card? Video referee saying no punches thrown.
And the captain, Lockie and Cameron.
Brad Dwyer and Lockie Miller going to get a talking to here.
Right, we've got a penalty on field. You don't need to go and rag the ball off him. It's a controlled penalty. No, listen, it's a controlled penalty restart. Equally, you can't fresh out in that manner. I'm done with you two boys. Thank you very much. Cheers. Lads, Robert.
Little tap of appreciation by both.
We've got, it's all right. Got two and a half minutes of this game to go. No more running in. What about Dwyer?
Referee stamps his authority. Right, let's get back to the game.
Well, you've just got two blokes there wanting to compete to make sure that they win the side. You've got Lockie Miller trying to waste the clock and ruin it down. And then Brad Dwyer. Lee just wants the ball back and play on. There's 2 minutes to go.
Wait.
What have the Leopards got? Have they got anything? Have they got any bite left in them? Mulhern, he wants to have a crack.
Mulhern with a carry, Dwyer stands and waits. Leigh poised. 2.5 minutes to rescue a game they thought they'd won, but they need to win it again. Have they got it in them?
Cameron, wait. Go,
that was a penalty. Meantime, the game carries on, and here comes Mulhern with a drive towards that line. Dwyer marches up to dummy half. They're pawing the ground again. Step by Moylan, another step by Moylan, but they're waiting for him. Wrapped up by two Leeds defenders. Dwyer goes out, sharp as attack, but he too is hammered to the ground by Smith. Leeds defence absolutely spot on at the moment, but can they carry it on? Again, the read is good, but there's an offload, but there's another Leeds defender waiting. And it's a turnover, and Leigh might just have blown their last chance on that Leeds line.
Yeah, smothering defence from the Rhinos. It was Newman who came in, and then Lewis follows. And they just kill that play. And perhaps, with 90 seconds left on the clock, we'll just see this set out. Leigh will get one more crack, but you would imagine it would be from deep inside their own half. They're going to have to come up with something special, Dave. And I'm not too sure on the balance of the last 40 minutes that they've got that in them to go on and pinch this game.
Well, it's a night of drama here. It's a night of drama elsewhere, because look at that latest score. Salford leading at St Helens. What was it? First time since 1980? Are Salford going to rewrite history there? And it is full time at Castleford. Would I believe? Well, we know from the latest score we saw earlier that Huddersfield have won there as well.
Outside.
There's a kick. Hardacre desperate to keep it in play. It's a matter of time as much as anything, because there's only 40 seconds left to play. So he can't afford to let it go out and waste any more seconds.
Yeah, good skill from Hardacre just to keep that ball in. Oof, close.
Whizzed wide towards Lutelli. Leigh needing a miracle. 20 seconds to go. Lutelli straightens up, wants to get the offload, can't get the offload. So Dwyer waits and spins it out. They're almost down to the last play. The carry is good. Here comes Charlie, herring down that left wing. Leeds defenders quick back to defend. Is he going to have time to get up and play the ball? No, he's not. That will be that. Charlie's arguing, but the referee blows his whistle. And Rowan Smith Leeds have done it again. Found themselves in a real battle and somehow found a way to win. It's 3 defeats on the trot now for Leigh. They looked as though they were going to win this by a million miles at half-time. But it is Leeds who come up trumps. Their best start to a Super League season in 4 years. Leeds winners by 22 points to 16. Who'd have believed that at half-time?